So I'm nearly finished my hardest writing project. This thing, I didn't even know what it was going to be at the start of this year. All I knew was when we started working on my short film about my friend Mike, who passed away. This project changed my life, and I knew the story about making it mattered more than the film, to be honest. Like it honestly, I feel like the film isn't complete without telling the story behind making it, which is such a strange place to be. And so I knew that I had to do a documentary, a behind the scenes documentary to go along with it, but I couldn't figure it out for a long time, all year. I tried writing it. I tried writing it so many different ways, changing my writing process just for it, and nothing seemed to work. And I didn't know why it was so difficult, but I didn't know that I was actually trying to come at it the wrong way. And now this isn't my longest writing project, but I consider it my hardest, just in the sense of it's been so challenging to figure out how to even begin it. Because it's not a narrative film I can just make up. It's a real life story, and I want to capture the details in the right way and with the right gravity and the right intention, and what I didn't realize is this can actually dictate the course of my life to some degree. Like the way when you write a story, the words you use kind of guide where you go in life. I find that should be true because life tends to imitate the art you make, not the other way around always. When you tell a story, your life seems to take the shape of that story, and I knew that going into that short film. And when you make a film about your friend haunting you from the dead, you find Christ, dude. And that was quite an experience making that. And so why is it that it's taken so long to write it? Well, so much grieving was involved, so much things that impacted my life in huge ways. And I think I realized that I was on the right track when I got halfway through the writing, and I realized I'm figuring it out. And the shape that it's taking is it's not just a behind the scenes documentary. It's a non-linear documentary slash showcase of my best filmography slash premiere slash call to action for other people, and I'll get to what that is. I'm basically making a story that it tells two different stories, story A and story B. Story A is I start from despair. My friend just passed away, and how I felt called to make the film and honor him and grieve him, and that leads me back to Christ and helps change somebody else's life and brought me back to church, and I started taking my faith more seriously, and that changed my life. Story B is how I went from starting making films and feeling called to make films to feeling led astray and kind of going down the wrong path and finding myself in that place of despair and depression and darkness. So it's a story about, the A story is about light and the B story is about darkness, and I'm finding that by the way that it works is story A starts with story A, transitions and segues to story B, and then story B segues into the first film, because the story B, it tells everything up to the point of making the first film, Feeding the Fire. And then goes back to story A to talk about Mike and making the film that honored him and took me through a whole journey this last year. Segues into story B, tells the next film. It shows the next film. And the whole event will be over 2 hours, or 2 hours or so, roughly. And it's going to be bananas. It's one of the hardest stories I've ever told because it's true, and it's one of the best stories I think I've told. in terms of just the gravity of it, man. And not only that, it reframes all the films that I've made over the years. It does something with them that I always wanted to do that I didn't know was even possible. Like, I'm able to look at these films and just say, you know what? I'm making them God-honoring, even though they're not. I'm honoring them, God, with the story, the journey that I went on. And I didn't know that that was possible until writing this. But I spent, like, when I realized, like, things were starting to work out and come together, it was halfway through the writing. I realized, I spent several months on this one part, and what ended up being was, once I got it written, it in one chapter of this documentary, it captures the story about Damon going through healing, traumatic healing on the set, craziest moment I've ever experienced on a film set, 2, me going through narcissistic abuse, and 3, my friend going through cancer. But the thing is, like, this thing, it's also pretty funny. How? It's so dark, so bright in terms of hope and wholesomeness and sentimentality, but it's also hilarious, I think, for me. Like, there's some moments where I'm like, there are some, like, really good or harsh jokes strung together, and it's, like, so unexpected. And that's how I feel about it. But I don't even know, like, I don't even feel like I'm writing this. Like, God's kind of directing this the whole year, and I'm just along for the ride. And my friends keep hitting me up, like, when's this premiere happening for the film? I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're premiering a short film. I think we're premiering a feature film that happens to feature all the best short films I've made over the years and the Mike film. Like, we're not doing a short film anymore. We're doing a feature film. So I think I just need to make peace with the fact that, like, this is going to happen on its own time. And I've been dwelling on the fact that, like, yeah, I want this to happen beginning of next year, but I don't think it will. Like, I really don't know. And I just, yeah, it's such a challenge writing this and getting it done. But it's important. This is probably the most important writing project I've ever done, and it's the hardest one, but it's not the longest. Like, I've done features, this one's about my testimony of coming back to Christ. It's literally about how I became, like, my mentor, and now, like, I'm, trying to honor and grieve him. I now am, using this to make a call to action by the end of it, of say, hey, this is the journey I went on, and I'm looking to honor my friend Mike and glorify God by doing what he did for me and Damon, my friend who he helped. I'm looking to offer to serve others and say, hey, if you're kind of in a place where you're stuck or whatever, you feel underserved, hit me up, and here's how. Kind of like these YouTube videos. Like, my end of each YouTube video, I'd say, hey, if there's a way I can serve you, let me know. I want to help you. I want to put that out there and just see what happens. Because I think at the end of the day, if you're helping others, you don't have to worry about anything. Life's just going to kind of orchestrate itself. It's like, and this is actually in the premiere thing, or the showcase, it's 1 Kings 3:9, Solomon prays to God, seek ye, give me your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and distinguish from right and from wrong. And he could pray for anything, but he asked God for wisdom to serve his people. So he gave him that and everything. And the reason he gave him everything, I think, is because he was, like Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. By looking to serve God's people and looking for wisdom to serve his people and to serve them well, I think that's seeking the kingdom of God. You can interpret it that way, and I think that's true. That's the thesis that I put out there with this project, and that's what this is. It's like, this is a thesis, a dissertation. It is a really regimented writing of something that is going to dictate the course of my life without whether I realize it or not. So I'm taking it pretty seriously, whether I like it or not. Like I know that deep down this has to go. I have to give it my all. So that's why it's been the hardest writing project I've ever done. But are there projects that are challenging to you and you're not even sure why? Maybe they don't seem like they should be challenging, but they are, and it's just something that just beats the crap out of you. But it's because that there's something important about it. You know, leave a comment below, ask a question over AskThomasProffitt@gmail.com. The link should be somewhere. I appreciate you watching. Have a good one. Later. Bye.